Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Spiritual Transformer. So, today I want to talk about serendipity again, because one of the things that I keep hearing about being on the spiritual path is that you have things just kind of happen to you out of the blue, beneficial coincidences and so forth. So, today I kind of want to talk more about that, even though a few videos ago I've talked about this already with relations to the weather. But today I kind of want to talk about it as a bit more of a slice of life, a bit more of a day in the life of someone on a spiritual path. So that's what I want to go into today. So the events of what I'm about to describe happened yesterday as of the recording of this video. And yesterday I had to go into the office. And, well, basically right away, things started to happen for me. Pretty much 30 seconds after I stepped onto the train platform, the train arrived. And for train takers out there, that is a good thing. Sometimes it's not so good, but it was good for me yesterday. Got to work at a decent clip, but in the middle of the work, I was tasked to do something, look up a function on the software or something like that. But sadly, I have no idea what this function is. I asked around, and folks around me don't know. But during the team meeting later on that day, someone else asked the question from another perspective, and that helped me out. And while it didn't solve my problems exactly, I had a clue as to where to go. But hey, enough of this work stuff, right? Sure, it worked out for me, but it's still kind of coincidences right now, right? Well, here's the part where it gets more interesting. So, as a lot of people who work in the office knows, when you're in a meeting, you can get stuck in it. The meeting was that I was in was for about half an hour, and right after half an hour is my lunchtime. So yeah, I don't like it when the meeting goes over, and oftentimes these days it does somewhat go over. But yesterday, right on the dot, right when the meeting was supposed to end, it ended. And I just got up from my chair and just flew out the door like a banshee, and I never looked back. I was hungry and I needed to eat. And here's where I guess the real story starts. So my destination for lunch is a chicken place, a chicken restaurant that my wife went to. She recommended that I try it, so it was nearby, close to the train station actually. It was nearby, and that was my destination for lunch. Now, this doesn't happen to me often, but I misremembered the location of the chicken restaurant. I thought it was on this side of the station, but it was actually on the opposite side. So I had to walk into the space. I walked all the way over here, and then like I had to go across to the other end of the station because I misremembered where the restaurant was. And as soon as I saw the restaurant, I'm like, it's a real restaurant. You go in there, you sit down, you order, and right away I'm like, I can't do it. I'm on the clock. I only have an hour for lunch, and I don't have time to sit down and be served with a menu and all that. So I'm like, forget it. So I had to go to plan B, which was McDonald's. Yes, I know McDonald's isn't the healthiest choice of food, and in any other circumstances, I would probably pick something else, but this time was a bit special because it just so happens that they have the Huntrix meal going on. For those who don't know, Huntrix is a group of characters from the hit animated movie K-pop Demon Hunters, and my wife is a huge fan of it. She got me to watch it. I like it. So McDonald's is having a crossover. They got this Huntrix meal that comes in its own box. It has like chicken nuggets and shaker fries and a pair of collectible cards, and it was quite nice. I managed to get the meal, and what's best is that my wife. Well, what's best is that the food actually tasted pretty decent. Yes, it's never gonna be healthy, but it tasted pretty good. If I can't lie, I liked it. Yeah, McDonald's, right? But my wife is a big fan of K-pop Demon Hunters, and she wanted the cards, so I had the cards. I had the collectible cards that came with the meal, and I even managed to fold up that special box in such a way that it was small enough to fit into my jacket pocket, which was another stroke of luck because then that means I don't have to lug it around in my hand and everybody can see that, hey, this guy's got a K-pop Demon Hunter box in his hand. I didn't have to do that. I shoved it in my pocket and that was the end of it. Okay. So right now you're probably like, okay, that's not such a big deal. So what? You went to a chicken place, but then you went to McDonald's, you got a meal. Woo. Did I say the meal was pretty good? And did I say that if I bring back the box and the cards to my wife, it's brownie points for me? And that's always good. Okay, jokes aside, something did benefit. Okay, so some of you might say that, oh, well, you're supposed to be having a good day, but you went off in the wrong direction to look for the restaurant, didn't you? Well, it's because I went to the wrong direction that I had to take a detour, and it's because of that detour that I found something pretty amazing. So, for those who've been to Japan or maybe just familiar with Japanese anime culture, I guess you can say, or just Japanese culture, maybe. But in Japan, there are places where there are stores, I guess, that are full of nothing but gachapon machines. So, gachapon, for those who don't know, are those capsule machines that you often see at movie theaters or at supermarkets. The ones where you put a few coins in, you turn a knob, and a little capsule pops out. And it's all random what you get, and you just open it, and there's a toy inside. Well, in Japan, they're big. You can find capsule toys of a lot of stuff, just about anything, really. And there are locations in Japan, stores in Japan dedicated 100% to gashapon. You walk in and all you see are these capsule machines. Well, guess what? During my detour of this train station, I found a place like that right here in my city, and that's rare. I've never seen anything like this. It could exist in other places in the city. The city is pretty big, but this is the first time I've seen something like it. And I was excited as hell because me and my wife, when we visited Japan, we love these stores. They are just the most amazing things. One of many amazing things about Japan, and we love it. We spend a lot of time there just checking out the machines and trying our luck on these capsules, and we love that stuff. And here it was, right there in the train station, right there in front of me. And it's all because I got misdirected and lost, maybe, but I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't made the mistake of going to one side of the train station instead of the other side, right? So it's a bit of bad luck can work for you. So after my McDonald's meal, I decided to backtrack and visit this place with all the capsule machines. It's a really small place, and not 100% of the store is dedicated to the machines. I would say about half. The other half, they were selling some kind of collectible. I have no idea what they were selling there. Why? Because I was running out of time with my lunch. I had to get back to work. So basically, I walked in. It was a really small store, but I only focused on half of it. The half with those capsule machines, these gachapon machines. And I quickly found a couple of them that I want to try my luck at. I got a capsule for my wife, and I got one for myself. They were, sad to say, they were really expensive. Really expensive. I'm talking like, I would say they were probably 4 to 5 times the price of what it would be were you able to go to Japan and pay for it directly. At least that's in my experience. When I went to Japan, they were reasonably cost. They cost reasonably. But here they were just, oh man, it's outright, the price is stupidly insane. But what the hell, you only live once, so I did it. I got an Animal Crossing capsule for my wife, and I got a Monster Hunter capsule for myself. Folks who play video games will know those. But yeah. So a little bit of detour, a little bit of misfortune got me in a bit of fortune because me and my wife has always wanted to see stores like this in our city, and here it is. And yeah, it might be on the expensive side, but these capsules, they are 100% legit. They look imported directly from Japan. Even the machines look like the exact same ones I saw in Japan. And it was it was really a blast from the past for me because the last time I went to Japan was 2024 and I really missed the place. And here it is, like a little bit of Japan right here, right? So sure they were a bit more expensive, but I splurged anyway and I got a couple capsule toys. Most amazing thing was that I've always had pretty good luck with capsule machines. So even in Japan I had pretty good luck, but today, well, you know how, when you buy one of these capsule toys, the capsule machines has a display that shows you which one you can get out of maybe like four or five. And I got the one I want. So, hey, that's a bit of serendipity right there. When I got home and when I opened the capsule, I got the one that I want from the display. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try my luck on this one because I want this particular toy. And I got it. Yeah. Okay. Back to it. So after the capsule store, after I bought my capsules, I got back to work. I was 5 minutes late. Don't tell anybody. I can't miss. I can't miss. Going to this to try my luck at a capsule. Okay, so 5 minutes late. Tell no one. So yeah, after that, I guess after that, the rest of the day was pretty normal, normal. Yeah, until I got back on the train again. This time, as soon as I walked onto the platform, the train was coming. So again, train luck, perfect. I guess I want to end off this whole, serendipity, this good luck thing, with one final note. So maybe I'm just working on my psychic ability, but when I got home and I showed my wife the playing cards from the Huntrix meal, right? She asked me to like guess who's in a card, and we know it's one of the Saja boys because the package says Saja boy. So it was a 1 in 5 shot, right? My wife guessed abs, and I guessed the Saja boy with the hair that covers his eyes. And I just got this kind of like psychic flash in my head that it was gonna be that one. I said, "It's that one," and then she opened up the blind package, and sure enough, it was a Saja boy with the with the long bangs that covers his eyes. It was so amazing because I never really thought I had any kind of psychic ability, but if you practice spirituality enough, I hear that some of the stuff is coming online, and if there's any proof of that, it's right there when I guessed. A nice odds of 20% odds where I get the right one and I got the right guess. That and getting the right gachapon toy, that's 1 out of 4, I think, and it's aces. It's going all aces for me. Whew. So normally here's where I would end the story because the story of my serendipitous day ends right here. But I want to say something else. When you're living a spiritual life, it's not always rainbows and roses, right? Okay? Because the number one reason why I was even in the office yesterday, and I didn't have to be in the office yesterday, I chose to be in the office yesterday. The reason why I had to be in the office yesterday was because the building I lived in had a water shutdown so they can do some repairs. It was a planned water shutdown. I knew a week in advance, and I'm like, I might as well go into the office on this day because there's not going to be any water in my units anyway. So, yeah, I mean, water shutdown is never a good thing, especially if it's for repairs. And but because of that one negative aspect, I got a pretty good day at work out of it, right? So something a little unfortunate leads to something a bit more fortunate. And that's also part of serendipity. It's not always roses. Sometimes life throws a bit of a detour at you in which you would get a gachapon store, or but none of that would even happen if it wasn't for the water shutdown in the first place. So yeah, it's not always good. I hope the one thing you get from my story is that a serendipitous life doesn't mean everything is always going to be working your way. And as a matter of fact, something kind of a bit scary happened the day before yesterday. So the day before yesterday, in the morning, a couple hours before me and my wife was set to wake up, somebody pulled the fire alarm. I don't know if it's real or if it's a false alarm, but it was the fire department came and it was taken care of really fast, which is a good indication that it's probably a false alarm. So that was like in the morning a couple days ago. And then that very night at about 2 a.m. or so, somebody pulled the fire alarm again. So it's like within the same 24-hour stretch, we had the fire alarm pulled on us twice. And again, the fire department came. A few minutes later, they shut off the alarm. It's probably another false alarm. And you know what? Living a spiritual life or not, it kind of freaks me out because do we have some kind of like chronic fire alarm puller in the building or something? Somebody drunk and pulled it? In any case, it's not a good look. So yeah, I might be showing off right now about, oh, look how amazing my day has been. But I also had the fire alarm pulled on us for twice in the 24-hour span. So that's not a good look no matter how I slice and dice it. I might have had one good day, but that doesn't mean there weren't some trials. As a matter of fact, that night when the fire alarm rang at 2 a.m., I wasn't able to get back to sleep. So yesterday, the events of yesterday happened while I was under sleep deprivation. Right? Shockingly, I wasn't tired the whole day, but I was definitely running on only about a couple hours of sleep. So there you go. That's pretty much the end of my story. Yesterday was a mix of some bad, some really good, some bad, some good. And this seems always to be like that. But the takeaway here is that, sure, I might not like the fire alarm, but the idea of a water shutdown and the idea of getting lost in the train station and take a detour actually worked out for me. So that's life for you. The universe works for you whether you know it or not. Maybe the fire alarms would, in the long run, work out for us as well. You just never know. Not without that higher perspective. But that's a day in the life. The day in the life of someone on a spiritual path. So, if you like this content, consider subscribing and make sure to hit that like button as well. So, you've been watching The Spiritual Transformer, and I will see you next time. Peace. Bye.